like I did? Well, that would you'd have to ask my parents. I wasn't around at the time. Well, actually, his parent was Jim Henson. And he was built for a special that happened before I joined the Muppets called the Santa Claus Switch. Art Carney was the human star of that special. And there were a bunch of characters, a bunch of puppets in the show called Fraggles. And the Fraggles, not Fraggles, but Fraggles, were all these little monsters, were kind of funny-looking little monsters. And there was one who popped out of a cigar box, I guess. And it's been so long since I've seen it, I don't remember. But anyway, Jim Henson actually made this one. He made this character as a cigar box Frackle. And so came into the shop one evening and chopped him out pretty quickly, I imagine. And then he went into a box for about 5 or 6 years after that. And when the Muppet Show started, Jim asked, I guess Jerry Jewell had the idea of doing this loser character who... I think I heard something, but I'm going to ignore it. Who does these stupid acts and thinks they're high art. And so that was Jerry's idea, and Jim liked it, and so he asked me to perform it, and he pulled that character out and said, we'll use this puppet. So that's how it started. I don't believe any of that.
I think we have a question back there, right? Yeah.
Dave, so absolutely honored. As a puppeteer, I wanted to know what was the most difficult position that you had to get in for the Muppet movie with Goelz?
Oh, the most difficult position in the Muppet movie. That was really Jim's honor, I have to tell you. I don't think I had anything really difficult. There was one point with Goelz's little plumbing truck, you know, which was an old Citroen, where he was driving, so he was behind the wheel. And I was on a sling hanging outside the car. We were going down the road in Hidden Valley in Los Angeles at about 35 miles an hour. And I was just kind of hanging on nylon webbing out there. But the camera, I think, for that shot was in the back of the truck shooting over Gonzo's shoulder.
So we had a driver, a little man down in front, remember, who was doing actual steering.
On that, wasn't he in the back? Wasn't he in the box? Or
He was in the back.
I think he was. I think he was hidden in the back. And the same with the Studebaker. The driver was in the trunk. And there was a video camera in that little round opening in the front of the Studebaker. So he was driving by video, and we were trusting him. Same thing was true of the Woody, and a lot of other things we've ridden in. But Jim had the hardest position on the Muppet movie. He was doing Kermit's song in the swamp.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, right? I mean, talk about a stunning opening.
Oh, he was in a little metal canister that was watertight. That he had his knees folded up against him. It was sort of like a 55-gallon drum, but smaller. So he was crumpled up in there. He had a monitor inside with it, an air hose, an electrical hose that all went through watertight seals. And they pulled him down to the bottom of the swamp, which was about this deep, with a winch and a pulley on the bottom of the, there was a concrete pond that was on the back lot at MTM Studios. So they winched him down underwater, and he had a skin diver's urethane sleeve on inside Kermit. And of course, the Kermit was rigged through a log, so that was all part of the unit. That was all attached to the top of the canister. So it took a long time to get him in there, and then they hoisted him down, and then they started shooting. So he was in the thing for 4 or 5 hours, and they called lunch and let him out, and he couldn't stand up for about 20 minutes because his legs were all, you know, asleep and folded up. So it took him a long time to get to lunch that day. But yeah, Jim would never ask us to do anything that he wouldn't try himself. So after